Hi, it's Rupert here from Action Coach Nick Kinross, and I'm joined today by Bobby Mitchell from Pure IT Refurbished. Welcome, Bobby.
I can see.
So Bobby, you've been running your business, repurposing IT, refurbishing IT for what, decade and a half, 16, 17 years now?
Yes, it has been a long time. We actually started out as what's called an ITAD, an IT asset disposal company. So we go into offices and collect their old IT equipment. We would do a data destruction service and offer recycling or refurbishment of that. We then realized that the resale market for this product was far greater than we're getting in from our customers. So we transitioned into buying product from other recycling companies, and now we exclusively just buy in product. Um, the big advantage we find is when we went into offices, we'd have to get everything from the printers, the networking equipment, the things we didn't have a market for, or even if it was models of laptop that we didn't feel were a very good model, we'd still have to sell them because we got them. We can now cherry pick the specific models we know are very reliable and have a confidence that we can deliver products across our range that are fit for purpose for 5 years with our 5 year warranty. And we know it's more scalable because of the size of the supply chain that we buy from. We can get a huge volume of product to scale into that market. So, yes, we have been in the market for a long time, but not always repurposing in the way we are now.
So what took you into that market in the first place?
Um, Kind of by chance. And I think lots of these things come up just as an opportunity at the time. I was rally driving at the time and looking for new ways to fund that, and got an opportunity to work with a company down south to be their agent in Scotland for the recycling. And that was kind of the first step. And then there was various steps on from there to get to where we are now. But I think most stages there's like an opportunity that comes up, or we recognize something, or we see a shift in what we're doing, and we change the direction of the business to suit that. And it's funny because looking back now, I'd never have seen myself where we are now back then. It wasn't a master plan. There was no real vision to be where we are now. But over time and seeing the opportunity, we've developed where we are.
Fantastic. So there's a big sustainability component to this. You know, you've seen a gap in the market. Um, you found great clients. You're getting uh, good quality machines in, good quality devices in that you're repurposing. But you've also got quite a strong sustainability driver behind all of this.
Yeah, I'd say the sustainability thing is becoming a lot more recognized. It's always been the nice to have, but never the essentials. So it's never been the deciding factor. But particularly what we're finding is there's more pressure coming from the top of these organizations to push sustainability. And we are going to be going for a tender that's not out yet, but I think it's coming out in January, which the drive is being pushed from the top of the a large school trust to push down refurbish for sustainability, and IT guys are now having to facilitate it. Not always that open and willing to do so, but the pressure coming from the top. That I would say is the first time we have seen a change in direction solely based on the environmental aspect. Everything else has been cost driven or other factors. Of all the NHS trusts we've won more on delivery times than anything else, believe it or not cost. When Dell or HP haven't been able to deliver for a long period of time and had supply chain issues, and we can deliver quicker, that's been our route in the door, not cost, not environmental aspect. But now I think it's becoming more of a thing. We're doing the tree planting. I think nowadays, if we're neck and neck with another supplier and our environmental credentials are better, it'll be the thing that wins it for us. But it probably won't bridge a 10% gap in price.
Yeah. And you're doing quite a bit on the sustainability side in terms of giving back.
Yeah, we're not active enough about it. I'd say we don't promote it enough, but what we've looked at is two things. One, plant a tree for every device, and we did a rough analysis of what our CO2 would roughly be in the refurbishment process. It varies quite a lot from product to product, and we haven't had a proper audit, which is the next stage we'd like to do. But we roughly worked out around 25 kilograms of CO2. So we offset that through offset programs, all with the same company. And it's very easy to do. So I say we do a lot. It's very simple. But yeah, it has a reasonable effect on what we're doing. So we can actually say that for every device we supply, it's carbon neutral from the word go, and the tree we plant over the next 5 or 10 or 20 years will offset another 300 kilograms of CO2.
Yeah, yeah, and it's important stuff. So you're dealing with machines that are coming out of businesses who've been using them, and you're sending them on to clients to reuse them. There's quite a responsibility there in handling machines that potentially still contain. You'd like to think that some of the data's been cleaned before they get to you, but potentially you've still got sensitive data on, and then cleaning them so that they're safe to go out to your future customers. How do you recruit the right people to manage that process?
Good question. I think the second part is more complex. The first part, it's a perceived risk, but actually it's probably the least important and the least difficult part of our process. Because we buy from other recycling companies now, everything we buy in is already wiped because the service that they offer to their customers is a data wiping. But then we wipe the drives anyway as part of our refurbishment process. And wiping drives is pretty simple. There's lots of great software around that does it. You put it on a test bench and it runs it. There's lots of other things in terms of refurbishment are far more complex to manage, and uh, taking somebody else's problem, as some people say, and fixing that, repairing that, changing that to a purposeful product that we can supply. There's lots of other aspects much more difficult. In terms of recruiting, we found it really difficult in the last couple of years. It's definitely getting more difficult to find good IT technicians, and there's not a lack of applicants. We just recently had 60 applicants to an IT laptop role, and we've struggled to find one person. I think we pointed it last week, but we really, really struggled to find somebody with previous experience. So yeah, getting the right people is hard. I think more and more we're realizing that we need to hire the right people that don't have the experience and look to train that. Trying to find people with your hands-on IT experience is quite difficult to find.
So, what are the key things that you are looking for?
So we do use a psychometric testing system for equipment, which is really helpful. And so detail orientation is one of the biggest ones. So attitude, detail orientation, work ethic, and then being able to work within the team and be able to accept criticism. We've had people who are reasonably good technicians who can't accept the quality control process that we go through and the feedback from that. Maybe it's the way we deliver it. We have reviewed that, but often we've had people who just don't like being picked up on problems. So yeah, being able to accept that everybody makes mistakes. We need to work together as a team to improve our quality and improve our mistakes. But we need to put a light on those mistakes, highlight them, and work out what we can do better. And we've had technicians who've not been happy with that. So a few things, but detail orientation is one of the biggest ones.
So you talked earlier about one of the things that really works for you with delivering for people like the NHS is the speed of response. And I think back to when I was working in emergency response within the animal health world. And our biggest challenge in ramping up disease control centers was getting hold of the IT equipment. And we were dealing with IBM, and they couldn't supply us with the numbers of machines. So having that speed's really, really helpful. What would you say that are the biggest learnings you've had in being able to deliver consistent standards and efficiency like that?
Probably a very long answer, so I'm trying to abbreviate it. Um, Biggest overview thing is being proactive, supplying a product range that is tried and tested. Whenever we try to appease customers and supply new product lines, new models, which we're doing one right now, always turns into being a problem. Particularly in laptops, because we replace a lot of the laptop parts rather than just telling them it's grade B. If it's got a scratched lid or whatever, we replace the whole lid. For every laptop, we need to stock 6 or 7 different components for that laptop to repair it. And that's buying in those products, testing them, make sure they're right. We buy some of those products from China. China's difficult to buy from because often you get the wrong thing or it's not real when it's meant to be real. And over and over again, whenever we ventured out, our core what we do, we've learned a hard lesson. So I think the biggest thing is they do what's tried and tested and keep sticking to that. Try to push boundaries, but don't be too adventurous, particularly in a tight time frame.
So you're 17 years in with this business. What are the next 5 years? Where are you going to be in 5 years' time?
I asked that question earlier. So we like to expand the product range into servers, in another kind of key component to our customers. We're looking for other products that our existing customers can use or are currently using, and then new markets. So moving more into private sector market as well, which we've not actively targeted in a number of years. So we very much pigeonholed ourselves in the education sector, which is a great market for us. They're very receptive to our product. But there's other markets, SME sector, who could benefit from our product, which we don't actively market to. So those are two kind of overviews. They're just more products to the existing customers and then more verticals within similar sectors.
Fantastic. And and if you cast your mind back, what if you had the opportunity to give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, knowing what you know now, what would it be?
I think your email said any piece of advice, not one piece of advice. So I was thinking I had a list to give them. Um, it's so hard because whenever I think about this question, and I think where I am now, everybody needs to hear something different at a different time. So there's no one bit of advice any person can hear that's going to be universal. Everybody needs to be looking at the wrong thing, or looking at something different. Being proactive, being organized, having a really clear vision, a really clear plan are all things. I would say if the one thing I've learned more and more over the years is more planning, more clear planning, setting more clear goals, and holding more people to account. That's not one thing.
Yeah, yeah. Begin with the end in mind. Have a clear
Yeah,
plan, and then make it happen.
yeah. I think maybe the one thing would be delegation.
Yeah. Well, the bigger the team, the more delegation you need to do.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
that's brilliant, Bobby. Thank you very much for that. There's some cracking lessons in there, from choosing the right people to support you on your journey in the team through to creating those plans. Very best of luck for the future, and we'll look forward to seeing all that progress in 5 years' time.
Cool. Thank you very much.